Drop the bass.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the bell. So you know it's time for the Average Kid Podcast. My name is Sean, and tonight it's going to be a little different. It's just going to be me, myself, and I doing this podcast by myself. So I think I'm going to call this the solo podcast. And with this, I think I'm just going to, get on here whenever I think something's very interesting or a topic that, it intrigues me a lot. And I'm going to get on here and talk to you guys what I think and what my thoughts are. Some of them might be really long. Some of them might be only like 10 or 15 minutes short. I don't really know. It just depends on how deep I get into it. But uh, first off, I just want to say I hope that everyone had a great Memorial Day, and that um, I hope that everybody remembers the reason why Memorial Day is what it is, because of all the people that have served our country and sacrificed everything that they have done and done their duties, when there's other people like myself that are too big of pussies to do it. Um, so I just want to say thank you to everybody that has done that, and God bless. And so, like I said, I just hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. I know I did. Number one reason why I didn't have to go into work, so that was a plus. And that day, me and my wife just really chilled. I made a couple of steaks on the grill. Then we went over to some friend's house. We swam a little bit, and then we got to watch that crazy Game 7 between the Golden State Warriors and OKC. I'm just gonna get into that real quick. That game was, wow. I can't believe how it ended. First off, I can't believe that Golden State came back from 3-1. Um, I mean, obviously, if it was one team that people thought that could have done it, it was them. Because I mean, they won 73 games this year, breaking the record of the Bulls for that was up there for however long. But it really shows that, for one, that they obviously are the best team in the NBA, and two, that you can never count them out, and three, I wouldn't say that OKC choked, but I would say that they kind of let one get away from them, because they should have put them away, in Game 5, whenever they were at home and had home court advantage. But you can't take anything away from the Warriors, because they showed up whenever they were down 3-1, and they played their game. They stuck to their game plan, and they came out on the winning side at the end of the series. So kudos to them. But enough of that. We obviously know what happened with that game. I'm here to talk about, or give you my analysis, or my thoughts, if you would, about the NBA Finals, the 2016 NBA Finals we have coming up tomorrow. Um, and I say tomorrow because you all probably won't be listening to this until the day of, but I'm doing this on Wednesday, June 1st. That's right, we're in the new month. We're halfway through the year, guys. Just think about that. We're already in the 6th month, and it just seems like it's flying by. And hopefully this month goes by fast, because next month I'll be going on vacation, and I really need one. That's just plain and simple. But enough about me. Let's get back to what we're really here to talk about. I'm here to talk to you about, just a couple of things that I think that, the teams need to do, what I'm looking forward to in this series, just, things like that. And just keep in mind, obviously I don't work for ESPN, and obviously I wouldn't take my words to, like, I wouldn't put money on what I say. Alright? This is just, one, average person, or average kid, I should say, and just taking it and telling you all what I think that could happen during this series. So let's just jump right into it. First, in case you didn't know, the NBA Finals will be featuring the two teams, the Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. The babyface assassin versus the king, they call him. And there's a lot of stuff riding on this NBA Finals, if you really think about it. You got, the Warriors trying to go back to back. Then you also have them trying to win the chip and put even more emphasis on their season that they've already had this year. Like I said before, winning 73 games, and then also you gotta think about it. Like, yes, winning 73 games to a hardcore fan, they understand that it's a really big accomplishment, and that it probably won't be beaten anytime soon, I would say. But if they don't win the chip, then it's the average fan would just be like, well, they didn't win the championship, so obviously they weren't that good. They just play better during the regular season, and then you're gonna get all these people saying that all teams don't play during the regular season anyways. I just don't buy that shit. Um, so there's that, and then you also once again you have LeBron James taking the Cavaliers to the finals, trying to bring home the championship to Cleveland, like he's promised, and you know he's got a great chance this time around. I'm gonna try my best to not be biased to neither team. I think I'm gonna try to give my honest opinion about both teams. But like I was saying, LeBron's probably got his best chance that he's ever had with this team that he has around him. He has a healthy Kyrie Irving. He has a healthy Kevin Love. Everybody on that team is playing unbelievable right now. They're shooting lights out. They're probably, if not better, up to the same caliber as Golden State as they're shooting. I mean, some would argue that they're shooting better actually. So there's that, and it's a rematch, and everybody likes when we have rivalries. I wouldn't call this a rivalry just yet, but it is a rematch from last year's finals when LeBron was literally just backpacking Cleveland throughout the whole finals and really almost completed it, but Golden State just their bench and everybody just started playing well and just wore them down, and you obviously seen that one person can't beat a whole team by themselves. So let's just get into a couple of things that I think each team needs to do to win. I'm gonna start off with Golden State first. Just some keys that I think that Golden State may want to try to. I'm sure that Steve Kerr has told his players that they have to do better to win this series than they did in the previous series against OKC. First, number one thing that they need to do is rebound better, because if you look back through the OKC series, you see Steven Adams, which he's a good big man, yes, but I mean, obviously throughout his career in the NBA, he hasn't been in the NBA very long, but you see him, and he doesn't put up big numbers. He goes out there and does what a traditional big man does now in the league. He just gets rebounds and gets dunks, really. But in this past series, Golden State made him look like an all-star, in my opinion. He was getting second chance points, dunking on everybody, and if they let Cleveland do that and get easy rebounds, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, then Cleveland could break out at any moment and go up 10 or 15 on them with the way they're shooting. So definitely Golden State's going to have to rebound way better than what they have been doing. Second, kind of goes along with what I was saying. They definitely need to limit second chance points. Going back to the OKC series, they got out rebounded, I would say, almost every game, and most of the time it was on offensive rebounds, and that's why OKC went up 3-1 in my opinion, because they kept on getting second chance easy points and just being physical with Golden State with their small lineup that's in. So definitely, if Steve Kerr decides to keep their small lineup in, then the guards are definitely going to have to rebound better, and they're just going to have to play, tougher down low. And third and final key that I think Golden State needs to do to win the NBA Finals is that they need to play their style of basketball. And what I mean is that they don't need to whenever they have a chance to get on fast breaks, they need to take those opportunities and go on fast breaks. They need to sit there and they don't need to play half court basketball with Cleveland for one because they have LeBron James and LeBron James is a ball hawk whenever it comes to defense. He can do anything, and whenever you shrink down the floor to just half a court, and you got a man like LeBron James that can run as fast as he can and as big and long as he is, it's really easy for him to get easy steals and easy blocks. So definitely they need to try to push the tempo and make Cleveland play their style of basketball and they need to get out and get easy buckets against them because for one reason or another reason I would say is also because I don't think Cleveland has that deep of a bench, especially scoring wise. Yeah, they can have people come in, off the bench and contribute some like Mozgov and Iman Shumpert come in and play pretty good defense, and Mozgov will give you some points here and there. But unlike Golden State bench, they have almost everybody on their bench can play. They could probably start on a team if they really wanted to, but they've decided to just be on the bench of the Golden State Warriors. So they definitely need to get out, run Cleveland to death and just tire them out as much as they can because that's going to benefit them in the long run, especially whenever they bring in their reserves and Golden State can bring in 4 or 5 reserves and Cleveland may only go like 2 or 3 deep. So that's 3 keys for Golden State. So moving on to what I think Cleveland may need to do. Number 1 key for Cleveland, they have to contain Klay Thompson. Well, going back to the OKC series, if it wasn't for Klay Thompson, Golden State wouldn't have had a chance to win that series. I mean, you look back at Game 6 whenever he dropped 19 in one quarter, went off for like 41 in that game or something like that. When Curry wasn't playing his best basketball, he stepped up and he's done that throughout that. He did that throughout the whole series. So he's shooting very well right now. His confidence is very high. So they definitely need to contain him as best as they can. I'm not saying that's going to be easy, and I don't really know who they put on him. They could start Shumpert and put on him, but I don't know if they'll want to do that because Shumpert doesn't really give you anything offensively other than, maybe a couple of jumpers here and there, but he's not really a great shooter. So they kind of have to pick what they want. Either, leave J.R. Smith out there and try to guard him, which I think Klay Thompson is a little bit taller than J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith don't play really that good a defense either. So, I mean, Cleveland's just got to make some tough decisions right there. But, so yeah, they got to stop that guy from, catching fire. And, I mean, it's not an easy task. I haven't seen anyone do it. Haven't seen anyone do it yet, so it's going to be definitely tough for them to do. Second thing that I think Cleveland definitely has to do is they have to be physical with Golden State because you saw throughout the whole playoffs this year that Golden State's going to stay with that small lineup because they believe in it, and they don't like to be physical at all. Well, I wouldn't say at all. In my opinion, they're just not a very physical team because of the way they play. Yeah, you have Draymond Green and Andrew Bogut that will get in there and bang with whoever, but Cleveland definitely has more bangers than what they do. I mean, like I said, you have LeBron that can average a double-double every night if he wanted to. You've got Tristan Thompson that's a double-double machine also. You got Kevin Love who could also be another double-double every night, but they just have to be physical with them. And if they are physical with them, then they have great opportunities to get second chance points or limit Golden State to just one shot per trip. Because if you give Golden State one and second or third chances to hit a bucket or a long three, they're gonna hit them. They're not known to miss very many in a row. So definitely be more physical with them, especially on the boards down low. Third thing I would say that Cleveland needs to do is they need to take smart shots. we have seen throughout the playoffs this year that Cleveland has been playing very good team basketball. They need to stick to that mentality, and they need to, you know, play the way they've been playing. I think Tyronn Lue, their head coach, has done a great job, keeping their mindset like that. And they just need to let LeBron distribute, I would say, and get easy shots, and just make Golden State defend throughout the whole shot clock, and take what they give you. And also, I mean, if it comes down to it, LeBron can probably take whoever one on one. Not saying that whoever they put on him, which will probably be Draymond Green or Iguodala, won't stop him here and there, but it's kind of hard to stop, a 6'8", 260 guy, that can move like a damn deer. But definitely they need to stay in their lane and take good shots or take smart shots like they have been doing all throughout the playoffs, and just continue to do that. And I think that they will, keep up with Golden State's onslaught of threes that they shoot every single game. Cleveland has been shooting the ball very well, but like I've told this to many people, they haven't come up against a team, that shoots the ball as good as they do. They're in the Eastern Conference. You can't really sit there and say that there's another team in the Eastern Conference that shoots the ball as well as they have throughout the playoffs. Now they're going up against definitely the two best shooters in NBA history, in my opinion, and they're both on the same team. And you have to contain them, number one, and two, you can't get in a pissing contest with them. Like, you can't sit there and jack up threes with them, because that's not gonna work in your favor. You're definitely gonna get outshot because, like I said, you're going against the two best shooters in NBA history. So definitely, Cleveland needs to pick good and smart shots and take what Golden State gives them. Don't force anything. Don't try to play one-on-one basketball. Just do what you have been doing throughout the whole playoffs. Swing the ball and have good ball movement, and just take smart shots, like I've been telling you this whole fucking time. So that's the three keys for Cleveland that I've thought up in my little head. But now I'm going to talk to you about some X factors for each team. I think that, each player that really needs to show up for this series, in my opinion. And I'm going to start with Cleveland this time. For Cleveland, I think the X factor is going to be Kevin Love. Okay. Kevin Love, as we all know, when he was at Minnesota, he was a double-double machine. Well, now he's in Cleveland, and his role has kind of shrunk, in my opinion. Yeah, he's had a really good playoff, been really good in the playoffs this year. He stayed healthy. So now I feel like that he needs to go back to his roots, the way that he used to play in Minnesota, whenever he used to bang on the boards and get down and dirty, and just if the shot's there for him to step out and make a shot, yes, do that. But I feel like that he needs to make the post area his home, like he did in Minnesota, because he can own that paint, because he's a great rebounder and he knows how to use his body very well. So I think that's what Kevin Love needs to do for his team, and I think he'll probably do that because they will probably have Draymond Green, I would say, on him, and no disrespect to Draymond Green, but Kevin Love's probably a little stronger than Draymond Green, even though Draymond Green, and that's another thing. If Kevin Love, thinks that he's going to stand outside and shoot those threes over Draymond Green this series, I don't think it's going to work out too well for him, because Draymond Green, for one, is too athletic for him. Not saying he's better, he's just more athletic. He's more quick. I think he's quicker than Kevin Love, and Kevin Love I just don't think he's got the ball handling skills and or the athletic skill, like I said, to do anything drastic to Draymond Green to throw him off if he wants to stay outside. So he needs to get down, in the post in his element where he's got an advantage over Draymond Green and just do what he does do what he does best and body him up and just get easy points down low. All right. So next, I'm gonna go with Golden State's X Factor, and I've already talked about him a little bit. Shit, fucking ant on my notepad, had to kill it. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is definitely the X Factor in my opinion for Golden State. He has to stay on this streak that he's been on for the past couple of games. The only thing I would change is that he may want to limit, like he may not want to just take all 3-pointers because I'm pretty sure in the last game against OKC that's all he took was just threes. So he may want to try to get to the basket, especially if like they have Kyrie on him or J.R. Smith, some players that are smaller than him and not as strong. So definitely try to take them down in the post and shoot over them, or just drive to the basket and try to get easy layups, or get fouled and put Cleveland in foul trouble. Not saying that if you're on fire, then definitely struggle from outside, Klay. Obviously whenever you shoot the ball, everyone thinks it's gonna go in anyways. So I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. I guess I don't know. It's really up to you. But Klay Thompson definitely needs to stay on the streak, and he's probably going to get the luxury of defending Kyrie this series. So he's definitely going to have to show up day in and day out and play great defense against Kyrie, because Kyrie's probably one of the top shot creators for himself in the NBA. He may have the best handles. Him and Curry are pretty close, so Klay Thompson's gonna have to play some great defense this series and just take smart shots, in my opinion. So those are just a couple of things that I think that each team may have to do for this NBA Finals. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. Like I said, you may completely disagree, you may agree with me, but those are just my own opinions. So you can take them with a grain of salt, or respect them, or whatever. So with all that being said, I want to give you all my predictions right now before even game one, and I'm gonna stick to it the whole time and not change it like most people do. And so here we go. My prediction for the winner of the 2016 NBA Finals is going to be hold the Golden State Warriors. And I think they're probably going to win in 7 games. I do think the series will go to Game 7. My opinion, I think that each team may steal a game at the other one's home court, and it's just going to go back and forth. And they're going to meet in Game 7 at Oracle, at Golden State's home facility, home ground in the Bay Area, and I just don't see them losing Game 7. Now, with me saying that, I do not think it is outrageous to think that Cleveland could beat them, because, like I said at the beginning, Cleveland is finally healthy. This is what everybody wants to see. The team that has won 73 games versus the team that could have won it all last year if it wasn't for so many injuries. So now we get to finally see the rematch that everybody's been waiting for over the off season and all year long during the NBA. So that's my prediction, and I hope everybody enjoyed this little solo podcast that I did today. I'm going to try to have my good friend Dylan on, hopefully either Thursday or Friday, and we're going to talk about the UFC card coming up Saturday, UFC 199. But so I think that's just a little bit, or I think that's all that I'm going to talk about tonight. Like I said, Let me know in the comments below on YouTube what you think. Do you think my predictions are good? Do you think I'm a total dumbass? Whatever. I don't care. Scrutiny is welcome. But also, you can find me on Twitter at KingTotal21, and it should pop up as the average kid. That's like my little Twitter name. Just to support my podcast here. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I will see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.